Today, I would like to talk about the difference between age-friendly and accessible. Of course, there are big um, similarities between age and disability. There are, for example, there's a ability to see, to hear, and to move, which are declining in the age. And of course, we have a lot of disabilities, physical disabilities, which are quite similar. And of course, we have often in older age problems with the cognitive abilities. For example, people have problems remembering things and things like that. And that makes it very similar to people with cognitive disabilities. It is so that age-related products like senior handies or as mobiles or watches for seniors and things like that are less and less accepted because elderly want to use the same products as their children, and their children are using for example, a senior perhaps on grandmother perhaps wants to talk to her grandchildren via WhatsApp or Zoom or things like that. And of course, they need then the same devices to do that. There are, as I already said, a lot of differences between age and disability. For example, a person who is young and has lost their ability to hear or to see will have other problems than an older person. You can develop strategies in the young age. You are don't have so much problems to use glasses or hearing aids. Especially, I think glasses are not such a big problem, but hearing aids are a big problem for older people. The acceptance is very low for hearing aids. Perhaps the technology is very difficult to use. For example, screen magnifier or the changing of batteries in hearing aids or doing the right properties in hearing aids. This can be very difficult for older people. Another thing is, especially in the cognitive area, for older people, it's more difficult to develop strategies like zooming in websites or let websites read out with smartphone technologies. And another thing is it can be more difficult for older people to use technologies. If you, for example, have not the motor abilities to use a touch screen, uh, uh, maybe for most younger people, it is no problem to use a touch screen. But for older people, that can be very difficult because they have perhaps problems with their fingers or their hand muscles, and that can be a huge difference. And the solution is, in my opinion, to integrate the assistive technologies more and more into the all-day technologies. For example, if you have a device to measure your blood pressure, why not already integrate big big fonts and reading speech output and things like that? Or when you build in hearing aid, perhaps you should also consider the problems of older people to use such devices. Another thing we need is rehabilitation services for older people. In Germany, I have to say, the rehabilitation services are only for younger people or for people who are in the workforce. And people who are older and out of the workforce, they don't get rehabilitation services, especially something like using a computer blind or things like that. They don't learn that, or perhaps they don't get the technology. For example, a screen magnifier. The health insurance is not paying for it because they say, okay, older people, this can be a big problem for those people. The problem is, I think that disability is soon seen as an exception and not the normality. That would make things much easier for older people, for example, because they can refer to the same assistive technologies that helping things as people with disabilities and older people. Another problem is that many older people also they have a disability perhaps or something similar like a disability. They don't see themselves as disabled. And that means that they won't use disability related things. If you say something like disability toilet, disability service, disability blah blah blah, they won't use it because they say, I'm old, but I'm not disabled. And that is another barrier to use assistive technologies. Um, I think it is very important for older people and for disabled people that they were integrated into society and not excluded like it is today. Um, in the disability area, we see that a lot. For example, younger people don't want to join the disability association because they say, okay, I'm disabled, but I want to stay with my friends. And also, we should integrate older people into society as um, they should participate. And one thing we need for that is that we have disabled friendly and older friendly institutions and establishments. So that was it for the time. I hope you enjoyed the episode and would be glad if you switch if you subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.